Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to a speed paint of the Woodlands back. I'll mainly be commenting about some of my art and summarizing. First, we're starting off with Spruce. He's the male of the breeding pair for the pack. I'm gonna die. Okay. Oh, that sounds like a horse. Anyway. He's a pretty decent leader, but he is still kind of new, and he does make plenty of mistakes. He tries his best to keep his pups safe, but that doesn't mean that he always succeeds. It did take me a little bit to get through the first couple of quests, and we're moving on to Birch, but as I was saying, it did take me a little bit to get through the first couple of quests, especially because I wasn't entirely familiar with the higher levels of the game. So it was my first time playing on challenging instead of easy. And so I did struggle a bit, and I was being very, very cautious, but also very stupid at the same time. And here I am fixing Spruce up a little bit. Sprucing him up, if you could say that. I did also take a little bit of time to pick what I felt was the right mate. I tried to find someone who was a higher diversity rating, but someone who wasn't gonna hang back all the time through hunts. I think Birch is the right one that I was able to get, because so far from what I've seen of her, she is very, very good at hunting and doesn't let me do all of the work. She usually has a good eye for picking out which elk has the least health. Now we're starting on the first pup that I drew, which is Oak. Oak is, I think, a bit overcautious. He was the one that took the longest to fully mature in experience, because he would just hang back during a hunt and watch. We did eventually get him, of course, but it did take a little longer than the others. Please enjoy my complimentary rat doodle. I'm actually pretty happy with how this one turned out. It did take me a little while to figure out where I wanted the colors and refine it. But overall, I'm very happy, actually. While you're watching this, maybe you could pick out a couple of names for the next generation, because I'm waiting on name ideas from people who just want to have a part in it. So, if you have some good name ideas, feel free to share them in the comments, and I will pick out the ones that I like the most, and select the pups that would fit them the most. We're moving on to Holly next. She is quite playful, and I think she might have been the second to mature in experience. If you're curious, doing all of these took me about 4 hours, maybe 4.5. Though it might be closer to 3.5 after subtracting those pauses that I went to go do something. I'm also pretty happy with how Holly turned out, although I did have to kind of fix her head, and I did want to keep Spruce as the smallest of all of the drawings, but for some reason he ended up being the biggest. Either way, moving on to Myrtle, who is the chosen successor for the first generation of the Woodlands pack, because she's very bold and confident, and I'm fairly certain that she was the first to mature. I changed the base color a little later on because I decided that I don't really like the blue with all of those other colors.